this is it.
This is so stinking cute. Yeah.
Welcome to my house. This
Awesome.
is the first time I've ever been here.
Hey, me too.
and you know me, I'm always going tertiary markets, rural flips. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's just dumb.
And
But
now you've flipped a switch and decided, hey, it's on.
With prices like this and numbers like this, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going, this is where the money's at right now. Instead of, Dallas with all the competition.
There's so much competition. And then
And
your
it's
margins are slim,
Oh my gosh, yes.
because there is so much competition. So yeah, this is so cute. I can't even get over how cute this house is.
Basically on the front,
Uh-huh.
we did kind of trim up some trees here.
Gotcha.
And this was completely overgrown because it has been vacant for 3.5 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it had been vacant that long.
Vacant foreclosure.
Wow.
So we did replace these porch supports
Okay.
and of course paint them.
Yep.
One of
Yep.
them was rotted and we weren't gonna be able to match it, so we just did that. And then this walkway, which was ingenious. This came up from, my stager actually said, hey, you need to do this so we don't track stuff in. It's, just doing some pavers,
Yeah.
which were $1.25 a piece.
That is awesome.
And putting
it
some
makes sense because I don't know what was going on here where they just stopped the sidewalk.
They literally stopped the sidewalk like 15 feet and it was
From
just
the front
nutty.
door. Yeah.
And I'm like, and Martha, my realtor was like, people are gonna be tracking in mud nonstop. We probably should do something. And I'm like, are you asking me to like pour like a new walkway? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because you haven't been here.
I haven't been here, so it's like all done by phone. So yeah, and then the lovely purple paint.
The purple paint. We'll have to talk about that.
We will talk about that. The drama of a rural tertiary tertiary market flip is there's drama.
Well, it is super cute. I can't wait to get inside. So you had it staged too, right?
I had it staged.
Awesome. Yeah, the pavers help with these heels.
Yeah. Pavers are super nice.
I love the little chairs.
I know,
the
yeah.
Gray, black, and red. How cool.
She just did a great job.
Oh my goodness. This is so cute.
I love it.
She did an excellent job.
Look at this. I love this like turquoise piece in the corner.
Wow. And this room is really big. Mm-hmm. Huh. That is, I'm kind of amazed at how much staging is in here. I wasn't expecting that.
And she's worth her weight in gold.
Wow.
So her name's Dorinda. The stager's name is Dorinda.
So if you're out near Palestine,
out near Palestine, Texas, Pointer, Athens, wherever you're flipping out here in East Texas, this stager is phenomenal, and her attention to detail was huge.
I'm looking around and this is crazy how much is in here, like crazy.
Yeah, like just all like the nice little plant touches that she did. And again, one day on market, it probably had, I think, 7 or 8 showings for the first 2 days, but
wow.
And
cute on the outside, cute on the inside.
Well, it's amazing what staging does for a house.
Yeah. Well, and new flooring and appliances, and y'all did resurface.
So this house was built in 2007.
Uh-huh.
It's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,404 square feet.
Okay.
So nice little house, great size. These were like kind of a deep turquoise, that turquoise forest green color.
Yeah.
And they were all chipped on the edges and terrible. This literally was $250.
Yeah, I love it whenever if you're doing something that is on the lower end and you don't want to spend the money, like it doesn't make sense to put granite in here, frankly, at the price point, it just doesn't make sense. But if you can come in here and resurface them, I'm game for that all day long.
And with that resurfaced backsplash.
Yeah, it looks great.
And yeah, the whole kitchen was $250 to do that.
Dang.
That's great.
Yeah. A little coffee station.
I know. I mean, then this is great. And where their fridge is going to go. Appliances are all new, stainless steel.
Your flooring, and this is the vinyl plank, right?
Yes, it's.
I love the vinyl.
And it just looks, it looks modern. It had it did have an older floor here before.
Yep.
And at first I said, oh, we'll try to salvage that. We'll just try to keep it.
Yep.
And then no. And we actually ended up listing this house for $11,000 more than I originally said I wanted to list it for.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's fantastic.
It is good.
Yeah, the flooring looks great. I love the vinyl plank. I like the vinyl plank. You can even get away with the vinyl plank in higher end homes as well, just because it wears so well and it looks fabulous.
It does look fabulous.
The products that they have out now are awesome.
Well, and and if you feel it, it's even got ridges. Like, it feels like wood.
Well, and it doesn't make the sounds that wood does.
Right.
Because whenever you're clip-clopping on it makes for a pretty loud house. Whereas this absorbs a little bit and it's not as loud.
But it's super easy to take care of. It doesn't get damaged.
Yep.
It's, as
high
long
traffic.
as you, right. So, the laundry room.
This is a big laundry room. Like, you're no joke in here.
Yeah.
Laundry room, and then what do you do out here?
The magic. It's first time you, first time me.
Oh,
that goes nowhere.
It goes straight to the holy house. Maybe that's you can hang your clothes out to dry. Put a line out there.
Yeah.
And then that's where you can do the hang.
Yeah.
It gets full sun.
With it's kind of like a
we'll
dirt
put that
patch.
in the description.
And again, that looks safe. Some of these kids, or they can have, or the future owner's man cave, maybe over there. So
it's the mud room / laundry room.
Yes. Yeah, that looks lovely. And it did not, you know what though? It did not affect the sale of the house.
Hey.
So good to know.
That's what we like to hear. So in here, basically what you came in and did is new flooring, paint, and some fixtures.
Yeah, we had to replace both the front door and the magic side door to nowhere.
Okay.
We also replaced, some interior doors that were broken off.
Holes in them
there was some sheetrock repair a few places. There was no plumbing or electrical stolen.
Yeah.
But we still, we had some, few holes here that were just, needed.
Yeah.
And then paint everywhere, all new flooring, carpet, and the vinyl. And we put in like new ceiling fan fixtures just because the old one, the other ones were old. So no, it was, all in all, it was a very easy cosmetic flip. Mm-hmm. The one thing that was not cosmetic that was a big surprise, the septic line, so the sewer line is what I'm going to call it, from the house to the septic tank. This house has been vacant for 3.5 years, and it was corroded, the entire line filled with grease, and I have pictures of it, and it's...
Oh, that's disgusting. I don't need to see that.
I know. And he actually sent me both yesterday, and he goes, this is a fresh, clean line right next to yours. And it had like a quarter, like a space of a quarter passage going down this thing. And you couldn't get any water down it because somewhere it like filled in somewhere.
Yeah.
So he had to rip out the entire thing.
Wow.
And put in a brand new sewer line.
Gotcha.
Septic tank line. And then, clean out the septic tank. And he goes, this is the worst septic tank I've ever seen. And again, it hasn't been active for 3.5 years, but he said he found T-shirts.
Oh, well.
How do you flush a T-shirt? I've been thinking about it since yesterday when he told me that. He goes, yeah, there's T-shirts there. I'm like, when does that have to work?
Yeah.
You got to
really stuff it down there.
I'm like, what?
I don't know, maybe you had a 10-year-old really trying.
Well, I'm like thinking, God, wouldn't it be easier to just go put that in the trash if you didn't want it?
Yeah, right? I don't know.
What, we're destroying all evidence, so we're going to put it in the septic tank?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, master bedroom.
Master bedroom.
Yes.
Again, the stager did such an excellent job.
I know.
Like, this is crazy. I wouldn't have expected this out here.
So, and the fun thing here, and she pointed out, she goes, so this will fit a king-size bed, but she's like, when you're staging it, you want to make it feel a little bit bigger.
Yep.
And so she goes, so I put extra wide side tables.
Nice.
On there. And it does. It makes it feel like there's a lot more room, but you can obviously see this will fit that.
Yep.
Yeah.
How cool. Got a little walk-in closet
closet. And then
the lovely master bath.
We had to replace one toilet.
Okay.
One toilet that was cracked, and so it was leaking on the floor. But other than that, nothing.
Yeah, that's cool. This is a nice size, and this house feels a lot bigger than under 1,500 square feet.
It does, doesn't it? And I thought it was much bigger than that.
Yeah.
But I looked up what the official under here is.
Yeah.
And I think they're marketing it slightly bigger because I guess you get to count your front porch space somewhat.
Really?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't argue.
That's
it's sold.
Another little closet.
Yeah. And then HVAC, which was perfect. I had somebody come out and inspect it. Was all prepared to maybe have to spend money on it, but surprisingly off for 3.5 years, $135 to come inspect it, clean it, and charge it up.
That's crazy.
That's a good price.
Yeah, it is. Now we're looking out on land. What does this sit on? So this is.
So the house sits on 3.5 acres, and
Wow.
that is the back property line, and it runs down to the left, a little bit over here. So I think it's about 8 feet off of this side of the house.
Okay.
And then down there, and then all the way, and there's actually some of the land is on the other side of the road.
Wow.
Because apparently that happens here.
Yeah. Oh,
Which people are all freaked out about, but all of a sudden, at one point, the road apparently was like down there a bit, and then they shifted it for some reason up here. So it runs through part of the property. But,
Okay.
there's actually enough space. There's a full acre across there. It could easily be broken off and build another house across the street.
Dang.
So, and I don't know if they do that out here. I don't know if the people who buy this would want to do that. But when you know that there's an acre across the street and you could easily break that off and then build another house.
Throw a house over there? Are you kidding me?
So, but yeah, there's not much out here.
That is crazy. Yeah, as I was driving down, I was like, I'm expecting some banjo music or something, and I pull up on this house and go, oh, this is awesome.
Well, and we did have to resurface
Yeah.
the bathtub. But this guy,
Hey, that looks fantastic.
it looks brand new.
Yeah, it does. That looks fantastic.
Yeah. And this is obviously the new modern
Toilet.
toilet that we had to put in. So
The little button toilet.
little button toilet. But yeah, no, my GC was phenomenal. He got, he orchestrated everything. How did I find him? Found him on Facebook.
Oh,
I
wow.
posted something in East Texas, one of the East Texas real estate investor
Facebook
groups.
is amazing.
That's how-
I mean, just picking people up. Well, and you've sold things, like some of your notes. You just jump into those
I do.
Facebook groups and you're like, hey,
I've
notes
got
and
this.
Yeah.
Or a house.
Yeah.
That was how I was finding buyers for, these rural properties anyways. I mean, obviously I didn't have a buyer here in wherever we are, Texas.
Palestine!
Technically,
Wherever we
technically
are.
this is Palestine,
We're in the land of the dogwoods.
Yeah.
but it is like really close to Pointer,
Yeah.
and it's Pointer water. So
Crazy.
I know.
Yeah. It's out here.
And
in
the
middle
little
nowhere,
town
right
of
in
Pointer
between.
is lovely.
Yeah.
I've been hanging out in the cafe this morning,
Nice.
and everybody is very chatty and very excited to know what I'm doing here. So
What is this city girl
what
doing
is
here?
she doing here? So
Well, cool. Let's sit down and talk about the numbers.
yes.
That's some exciting business right there.
Propelio.com. What does Propelio offer? Lead generating websites, access to true MLS comps, off-market lead lists, and deal alerts. Get them all today at Propelio.com.
Hey there, you guys, and welcome to Real Estate Divas. We are out here in kinda the boonies.
Kind of the boonies. We're out in the middle of nowhere.
Out in the middle of nowhere, sitting on 3 acres in a lovely house, and we are going to talk about tertiary markets and the pros and cons, because Kristen here picked up one that somebody backed out of, and it ended up being a super deal. So we're definitely going to talk about that and some of the drama that came along with it. Yeah, so there's some stories here, but it is an awesome house. I'm so glad we ended up coming out here today.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
You know me. I mean,
Yeah.
and I try to be as real with real estate investors as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And I've always said, don't go out to a rural area and flip a house
Well, I mean, always in real estate, period, what we say is play it close to home. I mean, you don't want to be driving out unless you have a GC doing it for you. You don't want to go out there and be checking on jobs, checking on people doing their work, and it costs you how many hours out of your day. But
this is the first time I've been here.
I love that.
I mean, this house might as well have been in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
And no joking aside, because I never came here. And the reason I came here was because I'm like, all right, we got to go do a show on this.
Yeah.
Because the numbers are phenomenal.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, I've always been a naysayer. When somebody tells me they're flipping in a tertiary market, I'm like, how many buyers are out there? And does anybody have any money? And
what are you going to do with that?
What are you going to do with it? And, you know, how long is it going to sit there? How long are the days on the
How
market?
many days do you have to go out there? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I've always said, don't flip out of state.
Yeah.
But I think if you have a really good team, which I put it together at the last minute, I decided I was going to buy this, and then I owned it, and I had to go put a team together. And how do you go about doing that? It's, if you have the right people, you can be extremely successful flipping in tertiary markets.
That is crazy. Well, so you ended up with this house.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you ended up with this house.
So I was wholesaling a large package, 13 foreclosures for a bank that was going out of business. And it was to all different buyers. And 3 days before closing, the buyer for this one backed out. And so it was either close all or close none. And so I said, well, I don't want to give up all my wholesaling fees and all my work, so I grabbed this one. And I go, okay, I'm just going to close it. $41,000 cash.
Great deal. And it sits on 3 acres. I mean, we're doing the tour. This place is awesome. You know, if I lived out in the country, I'd be like, oh, that's a sweet house. I'll take it. It's
adorable.
Yeah, it's adorable. I really like it.
So I had no idea what the inside looked like.
Well, no. You had no pictures.
I had no pictures.
You had no idea what the outside looked like.
No, I didn't. People are asking me, what color house is this? Like, they're driving up here, and I go, they're like, there's a yellow one here. And I'm like, that could be it. And I'm like, I don't actually know what color the house is. Yeah. So I was given no pictures to sell these, no interior, no exterior. So it was, it was difficult once I got here. But, it worked out. So $41,000 cash. I believe the total purchase price with closing costs was like $42,000 and change.
That is awesome.
Yeah, $42,196.33.
3 acres, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,400 and what square feet?
1,404 square feet. Built in 2007. So
I knew a fairly new house.
It's a fairly new house, and so I knew that I wasn't going to have to update.
Yeah, it wasn't
like
going to be
electrical
a total
or
gut
plumbing,
job.
and I knew that the floor plan would probably be pretty decent.
Yep.
Because anything built since 2000 has a modern floor plan, and it does. It has this nice big open room, great big kitchen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And,
I mean, in the way it's laid out, you and I both talked about this whenever we were walking through it. It seems bigger, way bigger than 1,400 square feet. That's where the floor plan really makes a difference sometimes because it can seem so much bigger. But yeah, that is pretty cool. So you got the house, then what?
So I got the house, and I instantly started looking for the right realtor. I originally thought I was going to wholesale it.
Yep.
So I got on, when you're looking for a realtor to sell a house, especially here, you need to find the best one in this area. Who's the best one in this town? Well, this one's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's literally...
It's not in a town.
It's not in a town. It's out in the middle of the country. So where do you go? So I had a couple choices. I ended up finding this great realtor, Courtney Robertson. She was amazing. And she had sold more than twice as many houses as the next realtor in the area.
Oh, wow.
And so she was out of Athens, which is just a little bit up the road. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to call her. So she came out here, and I'm like, I think I just want to have you list it and maybe find an investor for it. Maybe, something, I'm picking up at 42. I'll sell it 60, 65,000.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, great idea. I've got investors. And I said, you're perfect. So she comes here, and she goes, have you ever seen the inside? And I go, no. And I go, why? And she goes, well, from just the onset, it needs paint, it needs carpet, it needs new appliances, and it needs a good cleaning. And I'm like, really?
It?
I'm like, that's it. And she goes, yeah. And she goes, I haven't, checked out the systems and stuff like that, and there could be some surprises. But she goes, that's your major items here.
Wow.
And so I said, all right, well, maybe I want to do this one.
Yeah.
So right away I said, well, do you have people? Can you recommend? And realtors do that. So it was the first one. And so she said, yes.
Good realtors do that.
Good realtors do that for you.
Let's just clarify.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have resources. They either know people or have used people. So,
Right.
yeah.
So she instantly got her carpet guy in here. And she had somebody come over and preliminary clean. And then she had a really great carpenter who did like the front and side doors, repaired, a little bit of sheetrock and some interior doors just to get it basic.
Yeah.
And then I decided, okay, I need like a GC.
Yeah.
Just somebody who can come in and just knock this thing out. And I got on Facebook.
Facebook, it's a wonderful thing.
Facebook is a wonderful thing. So in the, if you go to whatever area this is, so this is East Texas. So I just went to East Texas Real Estate Investors Association.
Yeah.
And I posted, hi, I need who can recommend a really good GC? I'm flipping a house just south of Pointer.
Yeah.
And it's out in the country, but it's south of Pointer. Who can do it? And so this guy contacted me. He goes, I'd love to do your house. I'll come down and look at it. I'm like, okay, great.
That is
awesome. Blake Bowman, oh my gosh, if you're flipping out here in East Texas, I think he's actually out of Longview.
Okay.
But he is amazing, and he's so great to work with. He really is. He's a good guy.
That is very
really
cool.
good guy, and he did a phenomenal job on his house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking around. Like I said, when I said I would buy it and move in, I mean it. It's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing I loved about Blake is he went through and said, hey, we have to replace some bathroom mirrors. And he goes, it's not very expensive, and these are kind of rusting a little bit on the edge. You could leave them and get away with it, but it'll make it look
Just
a lot
that
newer
better.
if we just put up something new there.
Yeah, that much better if you just go ahead and make it all look sparkly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and he had suggestions for a lot of things. He goes, hey, I think you might want to do this, or hey, I want to do that. So
very cool.
And his countertop resurfacing guy was.
Yeah, that looks great.
If you're flipping in East Texas and and the bathtubs,
Yep.
I mean,
the resurfacing in the bathtubs.
those look
That
brand new.
Brand new.
I have never seen a resurfacing job that good.
Yeah.
So, and that's just some guy that, he's got in his tool belt.
That is phenomenal. Well, the house looks great, and y'all will definitely see that from the tour that we do. But so once you got everything in here, so what were your big ticket items? Like there was always some surprises.
Carpet was expensive.
Okay.
It was. The vinyl plank was reasonable. I negotiated with Blake a little bit on that because I'm like, hey, flooring is ridiculous out here. Why is it so expensive? I'm used to, $1.50 for carpet, and I think our total carpet bill on this was like $2,200
For this little house.
Yes, for this little
Wow.
house, and so that kind of irritated me. But I mean,
but that's the difference between a tertiary market and doing something like this in the city, because you have everything at your fingertips. Your trip charges are not, because this is out away from
anybody
everything.
anybody who came here, they were 30, 45 minutes, an hour away.
Yep. And so you pay for that.
You do. And you figure carpet, if it's a carpet guy and he's got a carpet showroom or he's got to go pick up that carpet somewhere, all right, well, he's driving a big truck, there's a lot of gas involved.
Yep.
Where does he have to go get that carpet? Because it's not down the road.
Yeah, it's not, you don't have a Home Depot
There's
2
not
miles away.
No.
Yeah.
So, and that was the biggest thing. And so kind of getting over that hump, because in Dallas, I mean, we pay a lot less for
those
renovations
things.
and those types of things, those small things. You can get a plumber or a local electrician to come out and, install some light fixtures.
Yeah.
Great.
But so you're going to pay more for those things, when you're out here in the sticks. But you also picked up a house for really cheap.
I did. So so you probably want to make sure you're getting it
At a
really
decent
good
price.
So I knew that this house would appraise for, I got numbers all over the place from like 125 to 140. I went with that 125 number. And so $41,000. It's like 30%.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
It's a third.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer to buy this.
Yep.
So, yeah. I know. Even if cost did run over. So flooring was expensive. The surprise one was the septic line.
So what happened? I mean, and you're dealing with septic because you're out here in the country, so you're not on city water or anything.
Well, we're on co-op water.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about utilities in a few minutes. But the big line was, so it was $1,800 because the entire septic sewer line, like the pipe running from the house to the septic tank was completely clogged with grease.
Wow.
And it had been hardened since it had been vacant 3.5 years.
Yep. Well, and septic in general, like whenever you're dealing with rural houses, even when you're selling it, that's one of the big things that you usually have to check, is because you need to make sure that septic has been cleaned out, because that you have somebody come out and clean that stuff out. And if it's completely full, it gets pricey,
Yeah, it was $350 to clean out the septic tank. So, $2,150. Which honestly wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and when he said,
we're going to pick up the house for $40,000. I
know.
It's not that bad.
But when he said, he goes, I want you to get ready. Because this is going to be really expensive, these. And I'm like, how expensive are we talking? Because I'm hearing replace a sewer line, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you have that up in Dallas. That gets really expensive fast. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, okay. There goes all my profit on this, on this flip. And he goes, it's going to be $1,800. And I'm like, I know. Now, I got to be honest, and if he watches this, because he's a really great guy, the septic guy, and I'll make sure and put like everybody's contact information who worked on this house, because they really did do a good job. Nicest guy. But with him, I was like, oh my God, $1,800? Are you kidding? He goes, I know. I'm so sorry. I pretended like it was a lot. I'm like, and all I was thinking was like,
oh, thank goodness. God. You didn't say 30.
Exactly. Because I'm like, this is 3 acres.
Yeah.
Where is that septic tank located?
Yeah.
Where is all of this at? And I gotta be honest, I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
I know nothing about septic.
Yeah.
This is my first property that I've ever owned that had a septic tank. So it wasn't that bad.
Not that bad.
But I've also heard that like the septic tank itself can fail, and then it's got to be dug up and put a new one in. And I was really afraid of that. So I Googled. I'm like, all right, I want to know what the approximate price is if you have to put a new septic tank in. And the average price in Texas is $4,500.
Okay, still not blowing your...
It's not blowing your budget.
Yeah. If you buy it for 40.
If you buy it for 40.
Well, if you buy anything at a third of what you're going to turn around and sell it for.
I mean, I've always said, 50%.
Yeah.
If you're talking about $150,000 house and you're picking it up at 50 to 75,000, at 50% of area, you're going to do well.
Yeah, it's hard to mess that one up.
It is.
Yep.
It happens, but it is hard to
does happen.
It does happen. So, but with this one, I was like, okay, even if we have to sell it at a lot less than wherever we're at, we can sell it at $100,000. We can still make money at it if you're buying it at 40.
So you've got the septic, you got the rehab. What was some of the other differences because you flipped in the city versus being out here?
Utilities. Utilities.
Yeah. You mentioned, it's a co-op, so co-ops are very, very different than dealing with.
All right, here was the funniest thing about the electric. And so the electric is actually a little more modern than, say, Pointer Water. And God bless Margaret, because I know Margaret's going to watch the show. Because I know Margaret, she's lovely. I actually just met her in town before coming here. And I never, I've talked to Margaret on the phone so many times. So there is some drama behind this house. There are some crazy neighbors, 2 brothers, and they've been telling people for like over a decade that this is their land and that they own it, and that they were the heirs to the guy who used to own it, and he died, which is completely false. But these guys have told everybody that, and they have continually, they ran off the survey team the first time with a shotgun.
Oh my goodness.
They scare everybody who comes
my
over here.
goodness.
Yeah. So we have drama in the if you're going to flip in the country out here in the middle of nowhere, there's going to be drama.
Yeah.
I had no idea what kind of drama because I thought, no way will these guys continue on. They've got to know. This was a foreclosure.
Yeah.
This house was built in 2007 with a mortgage.
Yeah.
There is no way that a bank is going to give mortgage on a piece of property that is in dispute of heirship or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't happen. And I knew that.
Yeah.
And I had a title policy and title commitment and everything was fine because it's been a vacant foreclosure it's been vacant for 3.5 years. So I'm like, we don't have an issue here.
Yeah.
You know, it's perfectly fine. But these guys didn't go away. Did not go away. So I had to call the Anderson County Sheriff. I kid you not. And
you're
I called
stirring up things all around town.
I know. So,
and she's never been here before.
oh no. And you know what they're thinking. They're like, oh my gosh, it's some big city
girl.
Big city investor and you know, she's terrible and we're not gonna and I'm talking to this sheriff and I'm like, listen, I just bought this house. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I can tell you, I have legal ownership and I'm like, I can show you the history of this thing. It goes back, she goes, yeah, let me pull it up. She goes, yeah, this is your house. So, you know, what are we doing? So, yeah, we had to get a restraining order against the craziest one.
Oh, my goodness.
So that, and he wasn't allowed to step foot on the property. Now, he still came over here and ran off the survey crew. And then I called the sheriff and they went and talked to him and said, that was it. One more time.
And you're going to the pokey.
So they had, you're going to the pokey. Yeah, they're like, we're going to come get you.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, and they're like, well, has he been threatening or violent? This is what the sheriff is asking me. And I'm like, my first realtor quit because she was afraid of him. And I said, and then he just ran off a survey crew with a shotgun. I go,
I'd say that's a little threatening.
It's a little threatening. Mm-hmm. So the sheriff had me, and this is all new to me, and I had no idea that this goes on, but I did exactly what they asked. They said, all right, you need to have your contractor go get no trespassing signs. And I go, okay. And she's like, and we're going to have to put them up around the property on the lines and hang them on the trees. And then I want you to put purple paint on the top, like a band of purple paint on the top of the signs and the bottom of the signs. And that way, they can see it, and if they cross it, we can arrest them. Because you're not allowed to cross a purple line. And this is true, and I'd love somebody to verify this, but I've been told this by several people. You are only allowed to cross a purple line, a purple property line that's marked out on the trees, if you are chasing a wild boar.
What? That is crazy.
I kid you not. This is the stuff I'm told all the time. I'm like, what? And I'm like,
that's a learning curve.
Is that a law?
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like,
that's funny.
so
I'm going to look that up.
I'm seriously, I should have, but I mean, I think there's a lot of like just weird, odd laws on like Texas books in certain counties.
Yep.
But that's one. So apparently, unless all of a sudden there was a wild boar, they could chase that wild boar.
Huh. Well, I noticed whenever we were pulling up, I was like, well, they're really serious about don't get on this property, and which is why I went to the property next door, and I was like, does not look like this one. It's got holes in the roof, so I was like, oh, well, that's a holy house. That one needs more than carpet and paint, so that cannot be Kristin's house.
Right.
But this one, I was afraid to come on the property because there were so many no trespassing signs.
Yeah. So we had to do that because, yes, ran the survey crew off with a shotgun, ran off anybody who showed up here. Any of the contractors, until I finally said, no, you work for me. Those are the neighbors. I have right to this house. I don't know how many different people I emailed the actual title, warranty deed, title
just
policy,
to prove
title commitment.
that you were the owner.
Here you go.
Yeah.
The tax roll showing how far back it went as a foreclosure in a bank-owned property.
Yeah.
All of that. These guys these neighbors showed up at the Pointer Water Co-op. And so I'm thinking I'm getting water on. 2 days later, I get a call from Margaret, and she's lovely. And she goes, yeah, do you have any proof that you actually own that house? And I'm like, and I knew instantly.
Yeah,
and I'm like, those are those
neighbors.
crazy neighbors. And I'm like, they struck again. So
they didn't cross the line, but they went to the co-op.
Well, yeah, this is pre-line. This is pre-line.
Pre-line.
I lasted for about 3 or 4 weeks before going and getting a restraining order.
Okay.
I had to. I'm like.
As we look out the window and make sure they're not
I
out
know.
there.
Well, I know. I'm like, is there a shotgun aimed this way anywhere? And I haven't met him.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to one of them on the phone a couple times, and he's actually the one who lives like right over here in the nice brick house.
Yeah.
He's actually a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. So again, he understands now.
Okay.
I hear the other one, the Ricky guy, he's nuts.
Ricky.
Ricky. So yeah, no, so Margaret was like, yeah, I'm thinking that this might not be your house. And so she did not have water turned on, right? And it took me, because then they had to set it up and somebody had to come out here, and there hasn't been water on for years. And so then they had to like clean out this meter box and install new meter. But yeah, it took utilities, it took about 2 weeks.
So really and truly, so that's another difference whenever you're talking about tertiary markets is your timeline's going to be longer, just period.
They laughed at me when I said, oh, I want this thing up 1 to 2 weeks tops, up and running.
Yep.
And every realtor and contractor started laughing. And I'm like, we're talking about, it's cosmetic.
It's lipstick. Come on.
It's, 1 to 2
But
weeks.
in the city, that's doable. That's
Oh,
doable
I would
day.
have 3-4 days.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it should be done, but
out here, it took 6 weeks.
yeah.
So, and I still don't have the official survey back yet. There's a preliminary. I ordered the survey week 2. When I realized, I'm like, okay, everything moves really slowly. So I asked, I'm like, should I go order a survey like now? And she goes, I think so. I think we'd kind of like to know where the property lines are anyways with the crazy neighbors and have proof.
Yeah.
That was 5 weeks ago.
And you still don't have it.
I got a preliminary, so I got like
It's in pencil.
so I get like a photo screenshot like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And so I know it's coming, but again, if you're thinking, I used to get surveys in 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to go down, and these courthouses, they're not.
Well, and also you're talking about acres. So they come out here, they mark the land, they've got to actually walk the property. So, I mean, it's more of a process.
It is. It's more of a process.
Yeah.
And, a lot of, so this is Anderson County, it's not online, and it's not electronic yet.
No.
So they literally have to go and look through like a card catalog and find the right book and find the right page to really find where the field notes are for this. So it does. It takes a long time, and you're not their only client.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So start to finish, it's taken about 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And it looks fabulous.
It does look good.
And it was sold in 1 day.
Sold 1 day. So here's where all of a sudden I became a believer. So we decided to, originally I thought, we'll list it like 99 because I just want it gone. I just want it sold as fast as possible. But my new realtor, Martha Paxton out of Palestine, who is phenomenal, she goes, let's list it at 110. It's going to appraise there, no problem.
Yep.
It's a cute house. Let's do that. And I go, okay, sure. I've never had a realtor usually, argue for a higher price.
Yeah.
That was coming in and that much higher. 1 day on the market. And we had a full price, all cash offer.
That is awesome. That is so awesome.
And then, I think it was somewhere around 7 showings in those first 2 days. Again, we already had this offer, so I stopped really paying attention to it. Backup offer is VA.
Nice.
Is a VA loan, full price again. So, the VA loan is not even asking for closing costs or anything like that. I know.
Wow.
So, again, the numbers on it are phenomenal. So going through the whole thing, and I screenshotted exactly, excuse me. So all in total, I'm all in at $63,000.
$63,000.
$32. And that includes the purchase, that's insurance, which we'll get a slight refund back.
Yeah.
Utilities to get them turned on, deposits,
everything.
Our first round of bills, appliances, carpet, the lawn and trees. Because there are a lot of trees on this property, and it's a big lawn, and we've been having to cut it once a week.
Wow.
And then labor and materials, survey, staging, and then these miscellaneous closing repairs that kind of popped up. So just stuff that's come out. And then, of course, the new septic line and clean out. So, but
that's
again,
still amazing numbers, though. I'd do that all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
And now you are going to try to do that all day.
I've already got people talking to me. They're like, "Oh, I saw you were flipping a house in East Texas. I've got some. Do you want?" I'm like, "Yep. As soon as this one closes, I would. I'm literally in for another one." So yeah, the return on investment. And when I put it at 2 months, 6 weeks of work with 2 weeks closing.
Yep.
57.9% return on investment.
That's pretty amazing numbers.
It's an incredible numbers.
You're not going to see that.
You're not even seeing anything remotely close to that. I mean,
not in this city. Not with all the competition.
The actual, bought for 42 and change, which that included all the closing costs for buying it. The total profit is just shy of like $37,000.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Woo!
I know. And who knew? Seriously. And I have always been the biggest naysayer of this, but I'm like, it's great. Other than, I'm still worried that something is going to happen. Something is,
Still no sign of him. We saw him earlier.
Yeah, we did. They're like, who's that guy out there in back? I'm like, it's probably the neighbor. He's not allowed to come on the property, so it's fine.
Purple line.
Purple line. Don't cross that purple line.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad we came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been awesome. And I love the house and what they did to it. And those numbers, you can't beat those numbers.
You cannot beat those numbers. So, yeah, I would encourage, and this was the first time I ever did a long distance flip, and I really had no plan of ever coming here.
Yep. Well, we had a show to do.
Well, once I got those numbers, I'm like, okay, we got to do a show on tertiary markets because it's the real deal.
Yeah.
And people from Dallas should not be afraid. Come out here once, get some good, talk, get references.
And not only that, you did all of your work for the most part online. I mean, it was all Facebook and then
I have never been here.
Yeah.
I have never been here before.
Yeah.
You were actually at the house
before you were.
Before I was.
Yep.
You arrived like a few minutes before I did, which meant you came to the house first.
Yeah.
So again, I've never seen this area of town. I've never been to any of these little towns.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a first for me. And the fact is, you can. If you get on, especially Facebook.
Yep.
But the first realtor I found the realtors I did find on Google. Mm-hmm. So, and I went and I just pulled up Google and I put realtor and then I looked at everybody's stars and reviews.
Nice.
And I read them and I literally picked Martha Paxton in Palestine because she had the best reviews and she had the most number of stars and highest number of reviews. So
there you go. I mean, you can do amazing things, never have to drive there, never have to see it. Because like you said, had it not been for this show, you wouldn't even be here.
There is. No, I almost was like, oh, do we really want to do a show? Because then I get to say I flipped a house and I made these great profits and I never went to it once.
Yep.
But
yeah, well, that reminds me of, I think when we did a show with, who was it? Steve Rosenberg. Steve Rosenberg did an entire speech to some investors up in Seattle. Because investing in Seattle apparently is kind of difficult. And he was like, invest out of state. Who cares? If somebody else is managing it for you, there's money to be made.
So, and you have to be extremely nice on the phone. Mm-hmm. You do. You have to be polite. You have to call. There's got to be great communication.
Yep.
Payment. There's a lot of trust.
Yeah, there is a lot of trust.
And the one nice thing is small town.
We will put that out there. There's a lot of trust, and you did get lucky. Because not everybody's been, it's
not over yet. Once
close on Friday.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
But once I actually get, I get my check and I get my funding, cool, then it's over. Yeah. I'm still worried that, something's going to happen with the guys next door. They will track, they'll know that somebody's going to buy this and move in.
Yeah.
And they're going to freak out or something. I just don't know. So,
Well,
again,
we're gonna go with
but I
it's
have been,
gonna
knock
close
on wood,
tomorrow.
I have been
Yeah.
really lucky with this one.
Yeah.
So, but again, buying it right, and there are a ton of great deals at this price.
That is fantastic to know. So you guys definitely look into the tertiary markets. You don't even have to go if you can find a team that you can put together and trust.
Yeah, and if you're flipping, in these very rural areas around Tyler, yeah, I highly recommend everybody that I worked with. They were great.
That's awesome.
And it's really what I've found in the tertiary markets. They want a nice house, just like everybody does.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to buy something that's a wreck.
Yeah,
Like
most
the
people don't
property
want to
next
do the
door.
work. Yeah, not the holy house.
The holy
Nobody
house.
wants the holy house unless you want to buy it for $10,000 and fix it up.
Yeah, exactly. Even less than this
Yeah.
one. But what they want is something that's done, it's move-in ready, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that
And this
that
checks all those boxes.
And that affordable housing price.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there,
110? Are you kidding me?
I know.
Yeah.
And then, and that's why people, want to move out.
Mm-hmm.
Want to move out and have a slower pace lifestyle and, something super nice and affordable and all
chill.
that. So, yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad we came out and
Yeah.
saw this. I'm glad you got to see your house.
I know.
And you guys, I guess this just kind of changed both of our minds as far as tertiary markets go. Check them out. Give them a chance. Run the numbers.
And don't be afraid. And
Yeah.
maybe you might not go see that house at all. You might send somebody else out and go, hey, go look this for me.
Yep. Absolutely.
I did, and it really did work out if you find the right people that you click with and have a good relationship.
Very cool. Well, thanks for joining us. If y'all have any comments or questions or want to know about any of the contractors that she used in this area, just reach out, drop us a comment, subscribe. We're starting a new YouTube channel.
Yes, we are.
The Real Estate Investor Divas. And stay tuned for more of these. We've got some big ones coming. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Want to keep up with the latest Propelio TV daily? Be sure to subscribe and click that bell.